Well, I'm going to introduce to you our next speaker. He's one of the original Christian Millionaire Book Club members. He is a wealth etiquette coach, and his name is CEO Money Mike. Please welcome him up here.
Of millionaires created their own wealth and are first generation millionaires. Why not you? There are over 1 million households in the UK which are millionaire households. Not just 1 million, not just 2 million, not just 3 million, but 3.6 million households are millionaire households in the UK. Why not your household? Figures showed in 2015 that 1 in 65 people were millionaires. 1 in how many?
65.
People were millionaires. My question is, why not you? I am not Chris Tarrant, but my question is, who wants to be a millionaire?
Me.
One person. My question is, who wants to be a millionaire? Thank you. As a financial expert, I, along with others, understand that there is a formula to becoming financially successful and to becoming a millionaire. Within that formula, there are financial success ingredients which you need to know of and have. Today, I have the pleasure of sharing some of these with you. My name is CEO Money Mike. I'm your wealth and business consultant, #1 financial educator for Christians. And today I'm going to be speaking to you about how it is that you can go about doubling your wealth in 12 months. How many of you will be interested in that? Thank you. Now, I've only got about half an hour. So due to time constraints, it's very important that I do let you know that there is a financial portal. It's a financial hub for you to receive financial training. Everything that I talk about today and much more is on there. Now, if any of you happen to be interested in getting access to that platform itself, okay, we don't have the updated slide here, but before I leave, do catch me and I'll be more than happy to give you information on that. Now, you are where you are now, and some of you will stay where you are as you have done over the last year, 5 years, and 10 years. Nothing has really changed for you. And so something needs to change now. It may be the club, it may be the platform, it may be something that the last speaker offered, but something has to change, or you will stay where you are as you have done. So I encourage you to really think about what is going to be your changing point, because you are here to change powerfully for the better. Now, today I'm going to be speaking to you about doubling wealth, but before I do that, I'm actually going to refer to one of my favorite verses in the Bible. Everyone say Bible. Bible. Oh, I love that word. Okay, so that itself is Deuteronomy 8:18, which is, remember the Lord your God, for it is He who provides you the ability to create wealth, to establish His kingdom covenant. Yeah. So remember the Lord your God, for it's He who gives you the ability to provide wealth, to establish His covenant. Now this is very important because there are many Christians out there who will pray, ask for money and so forth from God. But if it's not going to establish His covenant, then it's not particularly so in line with His agenda. God will not just give you funds so that you can fund something that's not in alignment with His agenda. So it's very important that I mention this so that when you do go away, if it's a case where you want God to help you on your journey, understand that He needs to be on that journey and you need to be working, not just ensuring that things are in line with his alignment, but also the expansion of his kingdom. So make sure that you don't just read that verse and disregards the second half of it. The first half is, yes, he does provide you the ability to create wealth, but to establish his covenant. Very, very important. Now, there are several things that you can do in order to double your wealth. But today I'm going to be sharing with you number 9. Now, we have here, this is a 20-point criteria in terms of what you need to do to become a wealth master. These are 20 areas that you need to have on point to become a wealth master. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about point number 9. Now, my question is, and I know some of you know the answer to this question. If you do, please do not spoil it for the others. But how many income sources does the average millionaire have? I'm going to take an answer, a guess from each table. And I'm just going to point someone out at random. Multiple.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Yeah? Okay. So the question is, how many income sources on average does a millionaire have? Yeah? Okay. So we've got an answer here, multiple. Thank you very much. Now, on that table, I'm actually going to ask for a number. Can I please have a number from that gentleman just over there? 6. Thank you very much. From the lady just over here? 8. And from the gentleman just here?
As much as you possibly can.
Oh, wow. As much as you possibly can. Can we please have a big hand for those people who just gave an answer? So, it is said that the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. Everybody say 7.
7.
Now my question is, how many do you have? The average millionaire has 7. So I just want you to think about how many income streams you have, and also what is stopping you from having more income streams. Because when we understand what is stopping you, it helps us to understand what barriers there are that we need to break so that you can have more income streams. So I'm going to ask you just to share with the person next to you what might be stopping you from acquiring more income sources, more income streams. You're going to have a minute to share with the person next to you what is preventing you, what is stopping you from having more income sources. I'm only going to give you 1 minute. At the end of the 1 minute, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, when I say that, of course, it's a countdown for you to be silent. Ideally, you want to stop on 3. If you're really good, you stop on 3. If you're not that good, you're okay, you stop on 2. If you're not really that good, you stop on 1. If you're terrible, you stop on 0. Yeah? Okay. So, I want you to show the person next to you now. What is preventing you from having more sources of income? And I'll be asking for an answer from each table. Start talking.
But it wasn't about really additional streams. It was about streaming it up but not making the most of it.
Okay, really good answer. Thank you very much. Can we have a hand for him as well? Yeah. You don't have to give a hand for the women. Also for the men. Thank you. Now,
Can we add one more?
yeah, feel free to share.
The day job.
The day job.
The day job to pay the bills.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's the obstacle.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's an obstacle? Yeah? Okay. Is it because that comes back to time as well?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay then. Yeah, really good. Okay, thank you very much. Now, with these different obstacles, I can tell you with 100% confidence, I can put my life on it, that they are nothing more but excuses. And the reason why I say that is because it's not just because other people out there have been able to do it, even though they were in the same position as you. As I said, 80% of millionaires today are first generation millionaires. There are even studies which show that in America, you are more likely to be a millionaire if you've migrated from another country as opposed to if you were born in America with your generations from America. Because people who migrate over come with a different level of hunger and they work and they make it work. So sometimes we're actually complacent. Sometimes we have the time. My question is, how much time do you spend watching EastEnders, Coronation Street, Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, and so forth? I'm not saying don't watch it, but I'm saying in life you need to get the right balance. And if you cannot spend even 3 hours a week out of your 168 hours, 3 hours on personal, financial, and business development, there's an issue. It's not time. Skills, you can learn. Skills, you can get knowledge. It's out there, and sometimes it's out there for free. Yeah. So I'm not going to go too deep into these different obstacles, but I'm here to say that these obstacles are not obstacles; they're just excuses. I'm not saying that you become a millionaire overnight, but I'm saying you can become one over time. We've got 3.6 million households in the UK that are millionaire households. As I said before, why not you? So, just remind me, how many income sources does the average millionaire have?
7.
Now, in wealth etiquette, we say don't have 7. Yeah? That's the average. We say don't be average. We say have 8. Now, we don't say have 8 just because we want you to be one on top of the average millionaire. But I stumbled across something in the Bible. In Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2. Everyone say Bible.
Bible.
As I said before, I love that word. Now, in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2, it says, invest in 7, yes, in 8 ventures, for you do not know what disaster will come upon this earth. In the King James Version, it says, give a portion to 7, yes, to 8. So, what we're talking about is having diversified income sources or diversifying whatever it may be. So we take this and we use it as a financial principle to say, look, don't have 7 but actually have 8 sources of income. Now the goal is to get to 8, it's not to stop at 8. Because as we said before, it's the average millionaire. There are other studies that have been done where they've said that the average millionaire has 40 streams of income. It's different. It depends where the study is done, the time it's done, what is considered to be an income stream. These all have an impact. But you shouldn't be settling for one, which most people do throughout their lifetime. If I talk to you about your financial house, if you have one income pillar, you have one income, if anything happens to it, your financial house comes crashing down. If you have 8 sources of income and something even happens to 4 of them, you've still got 4. So there is a power in having multiple income sources. And that itself is going to play a big part in you coming to double your wealth. Now, we've spoken about how many income sources we should work towards. As I said before, we don't end there. That's how many we should work towards. But some of you may be asking, what can I do? What can I have? So I'm going to ask you just to share with the person next to you what income sources you can possibly have. And just as before, we'll go around the room just to get some answers. Because as we go around the room, you will be getting ideas. So I'm only going to give you, this time, a minute and a half. You can actually share as a table what different income sources you can have. Again, at the end, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. If you're really good, you stop on 3. If you're really bad, I'll catch you at 0. You can share on your tables now.
I'm Sandra and this is Emily.
Table here.
Selling products.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we'll be selling these bags, for example, which is going to increase that.
Great. Thank you very much. Selling bags. Can we have a hand over here? At the back table.
expand on her body shop.
Network marketing? Okay, so we're talking about business. Great. Can we have a hand over there as well? Pastor Esther's table. Investments. A really good one. Thank you very much. Can we have a hand also for that table? And the gentleman over here.
We've got
Don't-
two.
don't-
We've
don't
got,
be
we've
shy.
got time, investing time,
Okay.
and we've got assets.
Okay, what kind of assets?
It's more about shares.
Shares, stocks,
Shares,
that kind
stocks
of
as well, investment. Okay, thank you very much. Can we have a hand over there as well? So, there are a few places where you can essentially generate an income from. And it's your income that allows you to create wealth. If it's not income, then it's an asset that is appreciating. Now, I'm just going to take you through a few things that you can do to actually increase your income. And this itself are the categories. They are the wider categories, but we can go into much more detail with each one. So the first thing, and it's a very simple one, is to sell old and unused items. A lot of you will have in your household things that you don't need that you can actually sell. And I've come across a lot of people who do have those things and they've been able to get some money for it. So, for example, I had a friend who had his Mercedes sat-nav. He sold that for a few £100s. It was just sitting there for a year. I also had a lady that I sat down with and done a consultation with. She went away and she sold £300 of unused items. So you can do that, because some people will say, look, when it comes to starting a business, I don't have the money. But you have a few £100s of things sitting around that you don't use. So the first thing that I would really encourage you to do is to sell old and unused items. The second thing, in terms of income, where you can draw income from, the government. So when we're talking about government benefits, government money, some people in this room may be eligible for certain money from the government. If you are, take it. It's free money. How many people like free money? Yeah? Free money. Not everyone else likes free money. Yeah? You're not working hard for your money, right? Take the free money. Yeah? It's there for you. If you meet the criteria, you meet the criteria. Thirdly, employment. Yeah? So no one mentioned employment. I'm sure a lot of people are in employment. But a lot of people don't know, but you can quite easily earn an extra 20% in your role at work. But not everybody knows this, and not everybody takes the action to get this. Again, there are countless people, and I don't have the time to go into the stories today, who have gone on to get a pay rise from just taking very, very simple steps. A pay rise within the same role, or even a promotion. So on the platform, we do have things that you can do to get a pay rise, things that you can do to get promotion. One of the team members, her name is Beth, she's a career coach. So she helps people to get promotions and so forth. So it's an area that you do need to think about, consider, and increase your income in. There's also business, which some people mention. And one of the great things about business is that there is no ceiling. Of course, when I say no ceiling, I'm talking about ceiling on income. Of course, there are disadvantages to business, but there are great advantages in there which you won't find in other income sources. Now, when I was introduced to the stage, I was introduced as CEO Money Mike. Can someone tell me what CEO stands for? Thank you, Chief Executive Officer. Now, in my case, it stands for Christ Executive Officer, because for those people who have a kingdom business, you will align your business with God's will and expansion of His kingdom, and it can be done. So I encourage people to have a kingdom business over just a normal business, and you'll be a different type of CEO. You can also have investments. Investments were mentioned, and there's many things that you can invest in. We have to an extent an exhaustive list on the platform on what you can invest in, from stocks, shares, gold, wine, property. There's so many things that you can invest in, but a lot of people won't go on to invest because it comes back to the whole excuses. Nothing's ever going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody will be doing it. And if everybody's doing it, then the rates won't be good.
Yeah.
Saving accounts. The rates aren't good. It's so easy for people to do it. So investments. There are also opportunities, things like referrals, or someone may need a favor which you get paid for. There are various new opportunities. And then there's also inheritance. A lot of people disregard this one. You need to look into estate planning. And when you look into it, you'll come to find that you haven't planned for your estate very well, and in actual fact, a lot of money will be lost. So for example, if you have estate, and when I talk about estate, it's when you pass away, if your assets are more than £325,000 greater than your liabilities, yeah, because what the government do is they take your assets and they manage your liabilities to see how much money is left over, your estate, where's the value of your estate. If this figure is greater than £325,000, everything above that is taxed at 40%. A lot of people, they don't consider for these things. They're just giving money away. So in terms of income, that's another area which we also cover on the platform as well. But look, you can sell old, used items, money from the government, employment, business, investments, opportunities, inheritance. Sometimes your problem isn't that you don't know what to do. Your problem is just that you're not doing it. So this is sometimes where a coach or a mentor comes in place to hold you to account. Now, I've shared this in a club before. There are 3 types of income. There is active income, there is passive income, and there is company value. These 3. A lot of people in their lifetime, they just focus on active income, trading their time for money. We don't have a lot of time, but I'll say to you, start focusing on building passive income sources. Some of you may have heard me say this before. My question is, from when I last spoke up until now, do you have a passive income source? Even better, do you have passive income sources? So if you're hearing this for the second time, this should be a little wake-up call for you if there has been no difference made in that area. So again, the platform itself contains things such as 25 passive income sources that you can have. And I spoke about company value. If you have a business, your business over time can increase in value. So for example, Coca-Cola can be sold, McDonald's can be sold. There is what we call intangible value within it. People value it. If you're building a business, build a business that also has company value, that is worth something that you can sell. Because that itself can go on to be an income source. So there is an income danger. With that, not all people know this, and some of the club members know this, but not all income is the same. Not all income is the same. We've got 5 different characteristics that make an income source a superior source of income, and there are also characteristics to make an income source an inferior income source. So for example, before I mentioned passive, you want your income to be passive over active. You want your income to be guaranteed over risky. And by guaranteed, I mean that you know it's going to come in. As opposed to, it might come in, it might not come in. With your employment, you know the money's coming in. It has done for the past many years, and so forth. You know it's coming in at the end of the month. For your business, you may not know whether money's going to come in or not. It's risky income, it's random income as opposed to guaranteed income. So we've got these different characteristics that you need to work towards your income source being. And if your income source doesn't have these characteristics, a lot of the time, you just need to tweak some things so that you can turn it into a superior income source. So when it comes to doubling your wealth within 12 months, things such as having more sources of income is very important. But there are also going to be other financial ingredients that you need to have in place in order to double it more quicker. Now, I know you guys want to be Christian millionaires. Just raise your hands if you want to be a Christian millionaire.
Yay!
Yeah? Thank you. And it's very important because you're here to understand how it is that you can become a Christian millionaire with purpose. Now, there's actually something that's a bit more powerful than being a Christian millionaire. And it's called being a kingdom millionaire. Now, this hit me. I remember when I was in the club and we were talking about being a millionaire and so forth, and I realised that, wait, yes, I do want to be a millionaire, but you can be a millionaire in terms of pounds, you can be a millionaire in terms of euros, you can be a millionaire in terms of dollars. But I thought, wait, I want to be a millionaire in terms of souls. So when we start talking about being a kingdom millionaire, it's going with bringing 1 million souls to the kingdom. Because when you are a kingdom expander, you are bringing people to the kingdom. How many people do you aspire to bring to the kingdom? Is it no one? Is it 10 people? The way I see it, the more the better. But here's the key thing. To be a kingdom millionaire, you need to be a Christian millionaire. Because to bring 1 million souls to the kingdom is not going to be free. As it says in the Great Commission, go forth to all nations. To go to another nation is not free. So it's very important that when we talk about purpose, within our purpose, and I know it's here, no, we've got preaching the gospel, that being a kingdom millionaire can be a part of it. Now, there are going to be many things that are going to affect you in your journey over the next 12 months and beyond. My message to you is to let the platform, to let the club, and to let the other speakers help you in that journey. Because there's something that you want to do, and it's you want to accelerate yourself to millionairedom. You want to accelerate yourself to goal achievement. Because some of you, you're in a slow lane. It will take you forever. You don't want to do it half of the time, you want to do it a 10th of the time. So start thinking about how you're going to accelerate yourself in your journey. Now, as I said before, with Wealth Etiquette, we've got these 20 different areas. And the challenge for each person that's on the platform is to get each of the 20 areas in place within 365 days. This is what we call comprehensive financial planning. It's not just focusing on one area, it's all the different areas that you need to get right in your finances. Now, in terms of other financial ingredients and what will affect you over the next 12 months, the next recession is still expected in the next 12 months. The status of it is imminent. That itself will affect your finances. You're looking to double your wealth over the next 12 months, a recession can halve your wealth in the next 12 months. And the reason why it will is because if you've got property, if you've got investments, if you've got pensions, they will be hit by a recession. Some of you are struggling to become debt-free. You are enslaved in debt. The platform contains steps to help you to come out of debt. As it says in Proverbs, it says the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. My question is, how long do you want to continue to be a slave for? The platform also contains other things like guidance on improving your credit rating and so forth. There is a lot that's there, I'm not going to go into, but there are 20 areas that we focus on. So, in this room and as you leave this room, I want you to start thinking about what income sources can you acquire. And I'm not saying acquire all eight at once, one at a time, or it will be too overwhelming. Secondly, start thinking about the other areas such as becoming debt-free, improving your credit rating, preparing for the next recession. And there are also a lot more which you can get in the club and on the platform. Now, I've run out of time, so I will be around during the break, so feel free to approach me to ask me any questions about what I've spoken about today, or the platform, or even how I found the club. Thank you very much. See you on the mic. Your wealth and business.